For more than a decade, FTI has strived to become the leader in the aftermarket performance transmission and converter industry. We've joined forces with McLeod driveline components under the leadership of Top Fuel funny car pilot Paul Lee, and now have a larger distribution network, more resources, and more power. Come see us in the pits and ask how you can join the FTI family. It's not cheating, it is the competitive edge.
Looking to replace your OEM diesel particulate filter or diesel oxidation catalyst? Look no further than DPF XFit, a complete line of aftermarket diesel particulate filters and diesel oxidation catalysts designed as an exact fit OEM replacement with all makes coverage for light, medium, and heavy-duty trucks. With thousands of units in stock, we ship the same or next day, and be sure to check out our comprehensive reverse OEM lookup tool. Always new, never remanufactured. For more information, be sure to visit dpfxfit.com. That's dpfxfit.com.
This is WFO Radio.
Hey everybody, WFO Radio is back. NHRA drag racing, the inside story, 2 races remaining. Can you believe it? 3 races if you count, the Vegas divisional, the final divisional, Vegas, Pomona. We had the Dutch Classic this past weekend. Lots of good stuff going on in the world of NHRA drag racing. The California Hot Rod Reunion, John Capps 540s and a Nostalgia Funny Car. Could they run them with the alcohol cars and just mix them together? Would that be a bad thing? These are things I'm thinking about. But we've got a big show for you as we get ready for the penultimate race, my yearly occasion to use the word penultimate. It's very exciting. Going to Vegas. Doug Coletta, the points leader. Second place, Justin Ashley, is going to be joining us on the show. Last week, we had Richard Freeman on, and we had Josh Hart on. It was a big show. A lot of people tuned in for the very first time. The podcast, the live stream, YouTube pushed the show. That algorithm I'm always talking about fighting against, it actually worked in our favor. But one part of the story was Justin, his crew chief, going over to Elite and immediately. And what did that mean? I got a text you got to talk to Justin to find out his side of the story. Before we could get him on the air, they made moves. Jason McCulloch moving over to the SCAG team. So we're going to speak with Justin seconds from now to talk about all right, they got 2 races. They're not mathematically eliminated. What can happen? What's the attitude? What's the story? All that. If you love this silly season style maneuvering, you're going to want to share this show. Push it out there. And fans of Pro Mod, we are going to try to connect with Mike Stavrinos. It's the final race of the Congruity HR Pro Modified Series season. And the numbers, 11 drivers, mathematical, with a shot at the championship. But the way I've got it, I've got 4 drivers inside of 1 round of racing. J.R. Gray, Derek Menholt, Mike Stavrinos, and Billy Banica, who leads, all within 1 round. It's 1.5 points in Vegas. So if you're a fan of Congruity HR Pro Mod, you're going to want to hear Mike Stavrinos. They are testing, and they just went out to make a hit. And so hopefully they'll be back in time to join us on this show. It is very exciting. Before we get to Justin, obviously your comments in the comment section, I just want to shout out to the people who make it possible, like Bernie Speed Shop, BURNYZZ.com, 100,000 square feet up there in Ocala, Florida, and Redline Synthetic Motor Oil. Thank you, Redline, for supporting WFO Radio. HusseyPerformance.net. Appreciate those guys. Foggett, you heard about FTI, Total Seal, all supporters of WFO Radio. But now let's not make them wait too long. We ask you to share the show. Let's get the news out. Justin Ashley. What's up, Justin? How are you?
I'm doing good, Joe. How are you?
Good. All right. Before we talk hard news, and I hit you with some questions about the past couple of weeks, let's take a moment to celebrate a very rare occasion where both of our football teams are victorious. The Jets and the Dolphins both won a game. Your first, our second of the season.
It's amazing. I did not know. I started to worry that this day would never come. But here we are. The Jets won, the Dolphins won, all on the same day. It was getting ugly pretty quick, Joe. So I'm glad the fortunes turned for us.
It is.
It was good. It was good. It was nice.
The NFL, anybody is supposed to be able to win on any given weekend. It's just, I didn't think it would happen for the Dolphins. And honestly, Justin, I was debating whether or not I was going to flip-flop my fandom for the draft pick, right? Root for you guys to win games and hope that we could get another quarterback prospect in next year. And just when I start thinking those kind of thoughts, the Fins turn it around.
What a terrible position to be in, right? I mean, who wants to root for the tank? So I thought about the same thing. At one point in the year, do you start rooting for the tank and hope that you get a high draft position and take a quarterback or wherever you're going to take? So I just decided, you know what? Forget the tank. I'm going all in on winning. Otherwise, there's no more fun in it anymore. So you root for the win. When it becomes irrelevant, maybe week 16, week 17, then maybe you root for the tank. But we're too early for that, Joe.
I agree.
You gotta appreciate the wins.
The heart of a competitor, truly the heart of a competitor. Right. You want to win anything that can be won. I don't know if you follow Formula One. Ferrari's in a weird situation with a battle for the Constructors' Championship, where the higher they finish, the less wind tunnel time they get for next year. And so they're penalized. You got to win. You gotta
win, baby. Just win.
Just win, baby. Someone said that, right? Was that a jet? Yeah, I think it was. Anyway, all right, let's talk about your deal. You're trying to win too. You are at a points deficit. You lost your crew chief. You're trying to win these next two races. But let's start with, I think, what everybody wants to hear is like, how did you find out about all these maneuverings?
Yeah, so left Dallas. Everything was normal after Dallas. A few days after the race, I was home. I received a call that Mike Green decided to leave and go to Elite Motorsports. And I have a lot of respect and admiration and love for Mike. That'll never change. There's no hard feelings. We've been through ups, downs, and pretty much everything in between together. And we had a lot of successes. So nothing but love for Mike, but it was definitely shocking, definitely a surprise. And at that point, internally, we had a decision to make. Mike had every intention of finishing out the year, which we appreciate, but we really had to look internally and figure out what was in the best interest of the team. And working backwards from the championship, we feel like putting Tommy DeLago in place now gives us just as good of a chance to win the championship this year, if not better. All this transition that we're going through right now, it's a little bit difficult. It's a little bit uncomfortable, but the truth is 2026 is going to be here before we know it. And all of this change would have happened. It just would have happened after Pomona and gave us a shorter time frame to get ready for next year. For us, running Las Vegas, a Las Vegas test session, Pomona with a crew chief that's not going to be here, really just didn't add up to what we felt like was in the best interest of the program. I have so much confidence, so much love and appreciation for Tommy. First of all, the kind of human being that he is. He deserves this opportunity, but his role as a crew chief, he's been around Mike. He's been around our team for the last 4 or 5 years. He's won championships. He's set records. He's won races before as a crew chief. So I'm super, super excited to work with Tommy. Really grateful for the relationship that we have. And now bringing on Jason McCulloch as well. Looking forward to getting to know Jason better and working with him. So we have two really bright guys. And I think we have really good structure and stability in place moving forward because until we're mathematically out, make no mistake about it, we are going to keep fighting, and our goal will not change. Our goal is to still win the championship this year.
I love hearing that. The fans want to hear that. You're 141 behind Doug, but you've got to run the races. There's 2 races remaining. Pomona's 1.5 points. You need a stumble. Obviously, he can't go to the semifinals in each of the final 2 races, but that can happen. Like we've seen those guys, they had a DNQ at the U.S. Nationals 2 years ago. Anything can happen. You got to play it out. But I would love for you to put a little more meat on the bone about, in your opinion, what you can share about why it might not be a good idea. Because a lot of people are saying, well, why not just let him finish the year? And so I did the thought experiment myself. Like, how would I feel if a random part failure caused a part to like destroy $100,000 worth of equipment, and it's someone that's not going to be there? And I thought, like, that might make me feel a little weird. Like I might have some doubt. It's probably best. But what about you? Like, what are reasons for casual fans why when someone decides to move on, it's best to move on immediately, if that makes sense?
Yeah, it's actually a great question. And it's a fair question. It's come up a lot. I think that first of all, the decision is not rooted in emotion, right? It's not cut your nose to spite your face kind of thing. It's rooted in being rational and thinking about what's in the best interest of the team. So that's the first thing. I think if you keep a crew chief in place, right, if we continue to finish out the year with Mike, everything would have been fine, right? And we would have moved on. We may have won the championship. We may have not. So be it. But there was going to be a transition period where we were going to have to bring in somebody new. And that period would have started really in December, by the time you get done with the season and holidays and all that stuff. We're in October now. I think it's important that we realize how quick 2026 is coming up. In this sport, the worst thing, or in life really in general, is fear of the unknown. I think it's much more important for myself, for the guys on the team, for the core group, for everybody at SCAG Racing to know what we're working with, to know the program that we have in place, and give Tommy and Jason a chance to work on building their own program and to run Vegas, a Vegas test in Pomona with the guys that are going to be here next year and in the future. To me, that's much more valuable. And I think in our team in general, that's much more valuable going in that direction than going in the other direction. It's about continuing to move forward, continuing to make progress. And I think, listen, it's going to be different. There's going to be change this time around, but let's also not forget that not only has Tommy been around Mike, but this is not just some dude, right? Like Tommy DeLago gets it. He's a great leader. He's a great person. On and off the racetrack, he's the kind of guy that I want, pulling the rope for us, right? And you put your blood, sweat, and tears into what we do. By the end of a race weekend, I am physically and mentally drained because there's so much time, energy, and effort and attention to detail that goes into it. You just want to be doing that with everybody who's pulling the rope in the same direction. You're going to battle. You're out there to win a race, and you want to do it with the team that's going to be here. That's all.
That makes perfect sense. And as you talk about it, I think deeply about it, like every run, whatever it is, total expenses divided by runs made over the course of the year. If it's $20,000 every time you go down the racetrack, like why wouldn't you give Tommy and Jason those opportunities to learn and get better? Let's talk about Tommy DeLago. So when you brought him on, like Mike Green, world of respect. I think it is great. It's going to be interesting to see how they develop over there at Elite Motorsports. But Tommy D, I think, first of all, world champion, been in and around for a long time, was hired to be maybe the extra set of eyes. That's what he always told me, to quietly observe, reinforce, maybe offer his opinion. But I'm thinking that this guy somewhere in there has something to prove. And he's a new Tommy DeLago now, as you've seen, like his new healthy lifestyle Tommy DeLago and fitness Tommy DeLago, and like a different person that last held the reins of a nitro car as crew chief, as the guy like making the call. So I'm excited to see what he does with this opportunity. Jason McCulloch, we'll talk about him in a second, but talk a little bit more about Tommy. And he has gone through a bit of a, I don't want to call it quite a metamorphosis, but the Tommy we know now is a little bit of a different Tommy than Tommy from 10 years ago, if that makes sense. And I would love to know what he said about that.
I think he would agree. It's a much different Tommy now than it was before. I didn't know him back then, but I've heard plenty of stories. This is a much different Tommy. So credit to him. And something tells me it had to do with his wife, Rachel, too. So credit to Rachel for that. But no, he looks great. Yeah. See, the deal.
Yeah, we all agree. We know Rachel.
So look, Tommy is a great person, but he's also extremely creative. He's very bright, and he's an outside the box thinker who has a great relationship with everybody on the team. This team is, again, and I'm not just saying this, there are really no hard feelings with Mike. I wish him the best. We had so many good times together. I hope he does great at Elite, but I really value the way Tommy, respects and listens and works so closely with the guys. I think that he has a great relationship with the guys. It's never about one person. It's about a collective unit. It's about a team. And he brings a wonderful sense of leadership. He brings somebody who's outside the box. He's creative. He's very, very aggressive. And this is a new Tommy, right? He deserves this opportunity. He's learned a lot, both on and off the racetrack, through the hard times, the good times, and everything in between over the last 10 years or so. And he's patiently waited. He's been the extra set of eyes, and now is his time to make the calls. Generally speaking, based on past history, we all know he's an aggressive guy. So excited to see how that turns out. But he also knows how to race as well and knows how to win races. So looking forward to seeing him step in this role here beginning this weekend. It'll be a lot of fun. That much I can tell you.
Yeah. First 3 second funny car. The guy's got a lot of accolades that he has done. So just, not to nail you down, but just so everyone understands, the Tommy Delago, Jason McCulloch crew chiefing tandem, that's the team. This is not an interim deal for 2026. Like, this is your team for 2026.
Correct.
All right.
So these are the guys, SCAG Power Equipment, SCAG Racing, the core group that we have, Tommy, Jason, everyone's here to stay for the future and beyond.
I like that. No, thank you for clarifying that. All right, Jason McCulloch, that with, it's all connected, right? With Josh Hart's equipment going to Elite. There's guys that are available now. Jason McCulloch was brought on to the Josh Hart team earlier this year. He has had great career working with Alan Johnson, obviously his legendary father, and then some time with the Capco Billy Torrance car. I'm excited for Jason. I talked to him, maybe it was at Indy, I forget exactly where, to be on, how would I say it, like the number one car, like with Alan and with Capco. He was always on the second car. And I'm not saying that they had to lay up or anything. I'm just saying that it's different when you're in the second car. Now he's on the number one car. So I think this is a great opportunity for him to blossom. How did that come together, you guys and Jason McCulloch?
So that really came together through Tommy. So believe it or not, when Tommy Delago got one of, if not his first opportunity to work on a team in drag racing, it was with Ed the Ace McCulloch, so Jason's father. So they still maintain a very close relationship, and obviously Jason and Tommy are very close. So Randy, Maria, Scott, the team from SCAG have been so incredibly great throughout this process. They spoke to all of us. They came down to Indy, myself included, and they asked Tommy who he would like as his number two. And after some consideration, he decided that he wanted Jason. I've actually, believe it or not, of course, from being around the racetrack, have seen him and we've seen each other in passing, but never actually formally met. So the first time I'll actually be formally meeting him will be here in Vegas coming up. But I hear so many good things about him, so many good things about the kind of person that he is. He will be in Indy at the shop. I know he's a hands-on guy. He's very bright, very smart, has worked with some of the best from AJ to the Torrances. So it should be good. He has a great relationship with Tommy. He's really good with the guys. He's a great person. So I think we're all looking forward to it.
That's wild that you have never met Jason.
Can you imagine? Yeah.
No. But it does make sense, the silo effect of the Nitro teams. Like, I kind of, walk wherever I want and have an obligation to know everybody. Whereas you're there to race. You got, the people on your team, who you're racing against maybe a little bit, but you're focused on yourself. It's still wild though that you have never met Jason McCulloch. And now,
right? I feel like 95% of the people have had some kind of interaction with. It's just, what happens on a race weekend is everybody gets so busy and caught up in everything that's going on. Sometimes you cross paths, sometimes you don't. But I hear so many good things about Jason, what he does, obviously, as a crew chief, but the kind of person that he is too. I'm excited. I'm excited to work with someone new, work with a new group. It should be fun. Yeah,
well, exactly. And this is it. Tommy Delago's hand-picked right-hand man, the hand of the king, if you will, is Jason McCulloch. So it's exciting. All right, here we got a celebrity out there. You guys are really burying the lead here. Who will mix fuel now that Tommy D will be stuck in the lounge, says Wilk. D. Wilk.
That's a good, if he wants to do it, he's more than welcome to come over and do it. But I think he's preoccupied. He's got plenty of stuff to do. He's got funny car races to win.
Let's attack him for a second, though, Justin. Like, this guy is on the precipice. He's on the brink. He is ready to win. It just hasn't happened yet. Let's apply some pressure to D. Wilk. Make it happen.
It's coming. It's coming. It's only a matter of time. Him and I speak about it quite a bit. For whatever reason, the toughest one to win is your first. Once you win the first, it almost becomes contagious. So he's a bundle of energy. He's as good of a guy as I've ever met, and he's so talented behind the wheel. It's fun working with him and Tim. They're such a great group. His win is coming. His win is coming. He's knocked on the door. He's been to the finals. He's been to the semifinals a bunch of times. So I can't wait to be there and experience that win with him. It'll be the first of many.
Yeah, well, he's got a shot to finish second right now. Like I'm looking at the point standings, and he's in the mix for second. Winning the championship would require a historic collapse in addition, but everybody like from 2 to 5th is very tightly wound in there. So anything could happen. Let's talk points as far as you're concerned as well. All right, so Doug 141 up, and then Langdon is behind you 159 behind Doug. So you need some help from that team. You can't control that. You can only control what you can control. How do you manage that going into the weekend? I have a feeling, knowing the previous answers you've given, one round at a time, focus on what you can control. But man, you're so close. Three seasons consecutive now.
Yeah. I mean, look, these races aren't run on paper. I'd be sitting here I'd be lying if I told you it wasn't unlikely. But that's okay. Who cares? Unlikely things happen all the time. Things have never been done until they've been done, and then they've been done. So it's not going to be easy. I think the most difficult thing is knowing that it's not all in our control, of course. And you see how guys like Sean and, of course, the points leader, Doug, are running. They're running really good. Common sense would tell you it's probably in our best interest to take a swing at it and hopefully somehow, some way match up against them early in Vegas or Pomona. But the truth is none of that stuff, going back to what you're saying, all of that's irrelevant anyway, if we don't take care of our own business. So for us, we have to focus on winning races. And then at that point, if we can win races and meet our own expectations, whatever happens with the rest of the class happens. But we have to focus internally. There's too much other stuff that can happen. If this happens, then that happens. You get caught up in all that, and none of it ends up mattering anyway. So we're just focused on us and winning races, and we'll see what happens from there.
Yeah, that's great. Wilk says that's what he needed, more pressure, right? More pressure. I'll mix your fuel anytime, he says, if you need it.
We'll find somebody. I got kicked off that job, unfortunately. I had the job of mixing fuel and packing parachutes. Slowly, I got the caboot on that one. We'll take care of it.
Just be the driver, man. Interact with the fans. Build the fan base. That's what John Force did. I mean, maybe John Force packed his own chutes back in the day, and I'm sure he did. But I need you out there talking to the fans, creating that driver persona. Especially if we're going to have 3 million people watching races in the future. How about that? The 2 million plus that tuned in for the Stampede of Speed broadcast. We're going to Vegas. I'm hoping to build a little momentum there.
Yeah, how awesome is that? I love to see that. I think those NFL lead-ins are so important. So the more NFL lead-ins we can get, the better. But, there's always going to be talk, especially on social media, of, is drag racing in a good place? Is it not in a good place? Do we feel somewhere in between? But it's in a really good place. And that is seen right through actual statistics, through actual numbers. So the numbers don't lie, they're factual. And to get that kind of TV viewership, in addition to really good attendance, is what we need more of. So kudos to Fox and NHRA and all the fans for tuning in. The more, the better, for sure.
All right, so I'm going to put you in an awkward position now, just for fun, for my own entertainment.
Do that.
We have a commenter out there in the comment section. His name is Mike Ashley, and he could not, he's commenting. In my opinion, Tommy gives us a better chance to win a championship. Many will disagree, but I stand by that statement, says Mike Ashley. My question to you is not about that. My question is, you have a reserved nature. Your dad is Mike Ashley. What is that like for you? Knowing that your dad is going to say whatever is on his mind in the second. He's not going to filter. He's not going to hold back. You know what's up. He's your dad. You love him. He's out there in the chat, man, attacking, talking about championing your driving in your career. What is that like for you, Justin?
I love him. I love him so much. He was actually texting me last night. I won't go into too much detail. Not about the show, but he said something on social media that he wanted to post. He said, "Can I post this on social?" And of course, it was something, edgy.
Inflammatory.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I said, you could do whatever you want, but you can do whatever you want, but I prefer that you didn't. If you don't mind, you do whatever you want. But yeah, him and I are kind of funny because in so many ways, believe it or not, we're alike in a lot of ways, everything from like mannerisms to the way that we think. I've learned a lot from him. I'm still learning a lot from him every day. But yeah, we just have different personalities. I'm more reserved. He's wild and wacky, but it makes it fun. I think, I don't know, to answer your question, I'll just say this. You never know what you're going to get on a day-to-day basis with Mike Ashley. That's all. And it's fun to watch him at the track. One of my favorite things to do is when we win races and go to watch his videos on the starting line. It's a blast.
Well, he is a passionate guy. He's a passionate, Northeasterner. You think he's Italian with the emotions and all that stuff. It was the truth. Is what he says. Well, whatever it was the truth.
It is the truth. I mean, look, in regards to Tommy, we have 110% confidence in Tommy. I believe in Tommy. The track record speaks for itself. He was just waiting for his opportunity. I have his back. I go back, not to get into too much detail, but a few things that have happened personally and professionally over the last few years and the conversations that we've had. He's the guy, right? He's the guy that I feel confident working with. He's the guy that I know can win us many championships moving forward. Time will tell, but both my dad and I and the team have the complete 110% confidence in him that's needed to get things done. And the guys do too, and 110% confidence, not only in Tommy, but in the core group, in the team that we have. And they're all sticking by us. And we want to do everything we can to make sure that stays that way and everybody stays and we continue this program moving forward in the right direction.
Well, we know that they don't hand out championships because we think people deserve them. You got to go out there and earn it. But what you've done behind the wheel in many ways has redefined what's possible from a top fuel racer. And guys like Stewart and they're like, oh man, this guy can go into the 20s. We got to do that. And they're starting to get there. And it's been really amazing to watch. So, having a championship run in the near future, I think would be important for Randy, for Maria, for SCAG to define their time in NHRA with that. But again, you got to go do it. You got a shot. It's not over yet. But let me ask you this, I don't always ask the right question, the probing question, the one that gets you to what you wanted to say. Is there anything else you wanted to say to the audience to put out there so that fans of NHRA know what's going on with you, with the team going into these final two races at the conclusion of this season?
I think the truth, right? I think that's the most important thing. This time of the year, there's so many rumors going on, both, internally in the NHRA community and to fans. So that's my truth, right? In terms of the way everything happened. And just know that we are in a really good place as a program. Everybody from SCAG Power Equipment to Metalcraft of Mayville to the dealers, distributors, owners, and users all across the country are finding this program very, very good, very useful, very beneficial from both a professional and business level to a personal level. So SCAG Power Equipment, SCAG Racing, we're grateful for the opportunity to be a part of it. It's the greatest organization, I believe, in all of motorsports. And we'll be here for a long, long time to come, and we're not going anywhere.
Well, that's great news because we need it. Like you notwithstanding, you're getting married, you got all kinds of good stuff coming down the pike, but I think the sport needs this, like high level athletes, cutting great lights, contending for championships, new personalities, people like this guy, Charlie. He's rooting for Coletta against you. He says he thinks it's going to be a 1-2. You and Langdon have battled each other this year. What a slugfest. Like if you go back, like the battle between the two of you all year long has just been heavyweights slugging it out. That's the entertainment we need.
Yes. Are you familiar with the Battle of the Boys?
Yeah, I heard about that. Courtney Enders, what's your side of it? Like, what's up? Is that just the crew guys or you and Langdon in on the deal?
Well, we kind of slowly ended up, we were byproducts of the deal is really what happened, Sean and I. But for whatever reason, just his team and our team have a tendency to race each other a lot. And it's usually a pretty serious slugfest. So our teams are pretty close with each other, the guys on the crew. So the Battle of the Boys came to fruition where they're keeping a tally that includes qualifying, by the way. You get a certain number of points for qualifying, a certain number of points for eliminations. But there is a tally in terms of wins. And it's important to win on the racetrack, but they take some extra pride in winning the Battle of the Boys too. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, that's it. Every run has to matter. If you're spending, $20,000 to go down the racetrack, like every run matters for something. And someone pointed out, I guess we got 13 cars entered here at the conclusion of the season. Qualifying is going to matter. And we've got a big thing going on Friday night. I'm teasing it. Galvin teased it last week. We've got a big special guest that is going to be in the broadcast booth on Friday night as we do our Friday night thing that we've been doing where number one gets a special bonus of some sort. And so it's going to be very interesting. Being the number one qualifier, it might be a slightly easier road to the final.
Yeah, I think it's very important when it becomes a short field like that. And we all want big fields. But in a lot of ways, when it's a short field like that, it actually becomes more difficult, especially on race day, because if you don't qualify first or second or toward the top, you're going to race a full-time car and good luck because you're going to have to do that in first round. So it could be more difficult. It could be more tricky. I didn't know anything about who's going to be in the booth Friday, so I won't have you spill the beans, but I'm looking forward to that. That should be fun. And I did notice that NHRA has been doing more things, whether it was in Dallas or St. Louis for qualifying number one. We did it in Seattle, so that'll be a fun deal. But it's really, really important to qualify well and put us in a good position. There may even be a buy run included in there somewhere. So super important to do that in Vegas.
There you go. One thing I can say for certain is that when Justin is on, the family represents in the chat. Here's Janet. I guess
my grandmother.
How great is that?
Oh, that is amazing. I love
Grandma Ashley is watching WFO Radio now. Please,
I love you too, Grandma.
Subscribe.
She loves you. She said maybe she's talking about my dad.
She's talking about you and your dad. Exactly.
Okay.
She doesn't love me, but it doesn't matter. I don't need her to love me. I just need her to click subscribe and the bell and watch each week. Just Justin's going to be on a lot. Justin, thank you very much for joining us on WFO Radio. Appreciate it. We'll see you in Vegas. Of course, the SEMA responsibilities afterward. I'm sure you're going to have something there as well. Yep. Good luck. 2 races to go.
Thank you, Joe. I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. And good luck to your Jets as well. Maybe
and to your Dolphins.
Just not head to head. Thank you, Justin. Justin Ashley with us here on WFO Radio. And yeah, if you're here to see Justin, subscribe, click the bell, drop a comment. Is Justin right? What do you think about what he's got to say? I want to know, those of you that are watching on YouTube after the live show. Now, really what I'm trying to do is hack the YouTube algorithm here. Apparently, the more comments you get on your posted video, the more they're going to show it to people. And I'll go in there and I'll respond to you. Be like, that's a great idea. And it'll be great. Let's try to do that. Last week, we had great success. We had wonderful 12,000 views on our 2-hour show, which is, more than normal. Justin Ashley. Tommy DeLago, look, I've gotten into some heated, passionate arguments with Tommy DeLago over the years about baseball, Pete Rose, different stuff. This guy will go to war for his beliefs. And when he was Matt Hagan's crew chief and they won that world championship, they had a terrible season the following year. And, it just didn't, that's not the way it's supposed to go, right? You're supposed to defend the title. And Tommy is now, he's got his beef jerky business. He's got a whole bunch of good stuff going on in his life. And he has said really positive things about Justin and the type of person that Justin is. Like, you want to go to war. You want to have someone, you want to work for someone you want to go to war for. And I think that's the team right now. Jason McCulloch, spoke with him a couple of weeks ago. He's like, yeah, I think I'm going to be unemployed. I was like, I don't think you're going to be unemployed for very long. And really, he wasn't unemployed at all. And so it's about chemistry. That's the X factor, the chemistry. You can have all the best parts and all the best pieces and great crew guys, but if the chemistry is off, that can sink a team. Everything else can be right. The chemistry is off because, there's 1,000 cliches here, right? That, the fish rotting from the head. That's not what was happening. But the crew guys take their cues from everything. It's got to be like this perfect symbiotic relationship. And everyone's trying to create that. And they had a great relationship going on. Mike Green has gone off to another job. I'm not implying anything bad. He's going off to create a new chemistry. So these guys, if Tommy and Jason can get together and find that chemistry, watch out. You have statistically the best reactor in the category, Justin Ashley. So we shall see. All right, we're waiting on Mike Stavrinos. He is testing his Pro Mod car. That is going to give me an opportunity to talk about a couple of things that we've got going on here this weekend. For instance, the penultimate race. We're going to Vegas. This is The last time we'll be going to Vegas until this time again next year in October. So if you're anywhere near Vegas and you're thinking about coming out, you should definitely come out. Friday, especially. It's Halloween. This year, Halloween fell on the weekend. Yes. And we're not going to rob kids for bags, but we are going to have a great time Friday night in Vegas. So come on out. Now, let me tell you about a couple of the people who make it possible for me to go WFO, like HusseyPerformance.net. This is for all the racers out there. Gaskets. Everybody needs gaskets. You need more than one. Hussey is known for their copperhead gaskets and their quick service and made in America with the best possible materials. But now they have composite as well. Valve cover, oil pan. They've got contingency programs in the top alcohol ranks, top sportsman and top dragster in the NHRA, and top sportsman and top dragster in PDRA, which we just found out PDRA lives. All those rumors that the Franklin family was selling out and they were going to be gone and all that. And they said, nope, we're staying. We're back, baby. Way to go, Franklin family. And that's interesting. And all of a sudden it throws my conventional logic about what's going on in the world of NHRA drag racing a little up into the air as far as the TBD races is concerned, but that's a different story and not to be mentioned during the HusseyPerformance.net live endorsement. Go call David Allen and the team. Tell them you heard about it on WFO Radio. They'll get you your gaskets rapidly. 412-716-4872. Thank you, David. And if you haven't figured out by now to go to summit-racing-equipment.com and order a can of Foggit for your engine and for countless other uses around the racing hobby, like endless uses. Having a can of Foggit around is mandatory. First thing I did when I put Project Pontiac away is fog it down. And it's so much better knowing that it is protected on the inside of the engine as well as on the outside. FOGGIT, go to summit-racing-equipment.com. One more note, the Patreons. Patreon.com/WFO Radio. These are the insiders, the people that pay a small monthly fee to be a member of WFO Radio. And they get special benefits. Like maybe they get to know secret stuff in advance. They certainly get to watch the Ignition show. They get a special Monday motivation show and some behind the scenes content, invitations to meetups, etc. If this sounds like something you're interested in, patreon.com/WFO Radio, or you don't have to, because WFO Radio, some version of which will always be free. And then there's merch. You know, get your Project Pontiac merch. We've sold I'm surprised we're closing in on 100 Project Pontiac shirts out there, which is stunning and shocking to me. But I'm very excited about going racing. You know, in Rockingham a couple of weeks ago, we had a blast. I was just looking at some of the photographs that Rhonda McCole took, and the car is awesome. I can't wait to get out there and race again. It is going to be a whole lot of fun. All right, we'll be back, hopefully with Mike Stavrinos and your comments, regardless, after this.
Redline Oil, formulated to win, proven by me.
Redline Oil, formulated to win.
Formulated to win.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
Proven by me.
Proven by me.
Redline Oil, formulated to win, proven by me.
The number one source of friction in your engine is not what you think. Piston rings rubbing against the cylinder walls generate more friction than any other part of the engine. More friction and temperature means more wear and less horsepower. Fortunately, the team at Total Seal knows how to reduce friction and wear through innovative piston ring design. If it takes a piston, Total Seal can build a better ring.
Drag racing fans, check out Drag Race Bracket Bonanza. It's the free, family-friendly fantasy bracket game. Now, after final qualifying at every national event, you can fill out your bracket for all the pro classes.
It's free, easy to click on your picks. If you need some help, just hit the randomizer button to fill in the blanks. It's for fun, stay engaged, and pick your winners today. Hey, it's Antron Brown, driver of the Macro Tools Top Fuel Dragster, and yes, I'm a 3-time world champ. But you know what? When I win, I go straight to WFO Radio, baby. I want to see you listening in.
Yeah, way to go, AB. Antron Brown, the outgoing world champion. Is it over? Can Antron not win this year? Let's talk about it. and your comments in the comment section. We're in time stalling mode here for Mike Stavrinos from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, who is in the Congruity HR Pro Mod Championship race, where I am told, I did not do the math, for 11 drivers mathematically. Like, I don't know. I dispute that. You can't have 11 people in because, first round 8 are going to advance. So is it going to be all the, I don't know. It doesn't work out. But Billy Banica leads by 11 over Mike Stavrinos, by 16 over Derek Menhold, by 27 over J.R. Gray. Those are the guys. Are they all going to lose first round? That's the thing that seems unlikely. And if they have to race one another, that changes things. But 51 back, you got Sidney Frigo, and 52 back, you got Mike Castellana. So Congruity HR Pro Mod is wild. Billy Banica wins his first race at ZMAX. Mike Stavrinos wins Indy. Derek Menhold wins in St. Louis. So these guys are all hot, right? Whether it be Steve Petty or Brandon Stroud or Todd Tutterow, the gods of Pro Modified are battling it out for a first world championship. J.R. Gray is in the mix. This guy has done everything. J.R. was a very fun and entertaining personality. He doesn't want to talk trash until he feels like he's ready to talk trash, and then he talks trash. And he's talked some trash this year. He's on the verge of winning a championship. He beats one of these guys in the semifinals and wins the race. He's the champ, depending on, other factors. But he has done everything to not win it. Stavrinos DNQ'd in Charlotte. This has been an example of how tough it is in Pro Mod. I don't want to say these guys are, nobody wants to win, as much as it's so hard in Pro Mod that great cars DNQ from time to time. All right, let's see what your comments are in the comment section while we might wait for Mike Stavrinos. Scott Malpa says, great ignition show, and I think it's Derek Menhold's birthday. Well, that would be wonderful. The extra energy of the birthday. Was wondering, same, how does Josh Hart race with Jason McCulloch? Well, Ron Douglas is still there. It's just that simple. I think it was suggested in the press release that Hart was involved in trying to find employment for his guys. So Steve Milovich, will the NHRA own PBIR, Palm Beach International Raceway? That's an interesting storyline, Steve. The answer is no. I'm confident. NHRA really is not in the business of owning new tracks. You can go to them with those kind of questions. But there was a letter that was posted on the internet that was sent to the face person of this new ownership group that is trying to take over Palm Beach International Raceway. For those that don't know, the number is something astronomical, like $60 million for the property. Now, I'm not a real estate investor, but I can tell you they're not making more land in South Florida, very close to airports and stuff. And so 60 million, is it a lot? Is it a little? There's a racetrack on there. There's a road course on there. There's a go-kart track on there. To me, if you can get it for 60 million in 10 years, it's probably going to be worth more than 60 million. It's just that simple. But then again, we don't want the current owners knowing that. So this thing is not worth 60 million, man, but somebody needs to try to get it. So the letter that was sent to the new ownership group, signed by Rob Park, many have speculated that it was not current or doctored. I confirmed with the NHRA that, yes, they did send the letter to the ownership group for Palm Beach International Raceway. Oh, here's a guy who has got some insight into Palm Beach, at very least, Mike Stavrinos. What's up, Mike?
Hey, Joe. How you doing, buddy? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you just fine. We're talking
Okay.
Palm Beach, and NHRA sent a letter to support this potential ownership group. That is a place that is near and dear to your heart as well.
Yeah, of course, man. That's something that, we hated to see it go away. We've been hearing a lot of stuff about it coming back over the years. I think it's going to take the right group of people to make it happen. But man, it would be such a big thing for South Florida, really the whole state of Florida. It's not even South Florida. It's such a big thing for the whole state. It was such a great place to race. and it has such big potential. I think if it's in the right hands, it'll do something big. I mean, I guess time will tell. I mean, I hear a lot of talk, and I see a lot of people, groups of people trying to do some stuff, and I guess time will tell. But yeah, it's big news, man. A lot of talk about it right now. I can only hope for the best.
The NHRA letter is real. They're just offering support. If the new ownership group were to somehow pull it off with investors, the NHRA would be there to support them however they can. All right, let's talk about you. Testing, you're in Arizona. How did your test hit go?
Good. Literally about 5 minutes ago. Thing went right down the track. Really where we left off in the last race in St. Louis, right where we needed to be. We went back to the shop, full freshen up on everything, get everything 100% ready for Vegas, the World Finals. I mean, we're ready. I'm ready. The team's ready. We're just doing our thing, double checking everything. The things sorted out and heading to Vegas this weekend 100%, man. We want to be 100% going into this one. We don't want to leave anything on the table, and we just want to go there with what we know, what we've been doing all season, and just try to finish this deal off. I mean, we're close. We're really, really close right now. I mean, so and they're all good cars. My teammate being one of them. Banica and Menholtz, and there's a group of them. They're all capable of winning. I mean, I've even seen it before. This class is so tight right now. Really, you could come in out of 8th place right now and technically still win a championship, which is pretty wild. But
you'd need help though. That's what I don't see. So we have, the way I've got it, I've got 4 of you within 1 round of racing, which is insanity. JR, Derek, you, and Billy are within 1 round of racing. Like, that's nuts. So to me, you just go win the race. That's the strategy. Go win the race.
That's it. Yeah. Don't go into this deal here and try to count rounds and look at who's doing what. I'm going to treat every single round like we got to win. We just have to go there to win the race. And with that mentality, that'll be our fate at the end of the week. And then we'll see what'll happen. And if it falls in our place, that'll, we go there, we win the championship. That's the way I'm looking at it right now. The countdown started off good for us. Indy, it was great. Carolina was not so good to us, but we had a little bit of a hiccup there. St. Louis was a good race. We lost a tight one in round 2 to JR. There's nothing, we walked out of there with our head to, we put both cars, we run them to the full potential. There's no team orders, nothing there. We put them back, put them to what they can do and let it be the drivers. Well, ironically, we both were 032 on the light that past 2 and ran almost identical ETs. So, and he took the round win. But, everything is so tight right now. We just got to go there to show up to Vegas and try to win this race. We got to try to qualify. As far as a team, we got to try to go out there and qualify number 1 and 2. We don't want to race each other until the final round. That's another thing. I mean, as far as the team, like, we can leave here 1 and 2, but we both got to be up the ladder, and we can't go out there facing each other second, third, second round. That won't be good.
No,
so.
Well, exactly. And you went to the U.S. Nationals this year with that attitude to win the race. You had runnered up a year ago. I've gotten to know you a lot better this year. Last year at the U.S. Nationals, it was kind of, in my opinion, out of nowhere, right? Like almost too early to fully comprehend how close you were. This year, you came on a mission and you won the race. Are you going to be able to channel that again? Because that's what it's going to take.
Yeah. I mean, the main thing right now is everything is firing 100%. The car is what it needs to do. I've been doing my job on the driving. I feel good going into this race, mentally, physically, everything. I've been doing everything I can. I mean, going to the gym, everything that I could possibly do to make this our better shot at winning a championship. The guys over back in Qatar, man, they're rooting for us. I didn't realize, I went over there a couple weeks ago. I don't realize how big this is to them. They literally have parties for this stuff. They're telling me about this, and they're watching us, and they're rooting. That's a big thing for me. To win it for those guys over there, of course, for us is a big deal. Like, we want this, and this is I'm in a position where I don't know if I'll ever be in this position again. It's a very hard spot to be in, and going to the final race and just out of first place like this, it's we have a good shot at sealing. We gotta try to seal it this weekend. Hope it falls into our hands.
Well, and we wish you good luck. It has been amazing to watch you and Cammie, like the Speed and Truck World guys. Like this, the Fort Lauderdale high performance location, right? You need wheels, you need a lift, you need race fuel, you need decals. You go to Speed and Truck World, and these two are now competing. They're in the mix for a world championship and a genuine worldwide sport with Pro Modified. I wish you the best of luck, Mike, and thank you for making the time. I know you're testing. Yep. I'll see you in Vegas, and good luck. It's going to be wild because, it doesn't get much tougher than the guys you're going up against.
Yes, sir. And we'll see you in a few days. And thank you.
Later. There he goes. Mike Stavrinos with us here on WFO Radio. And it has been amazing to watch him coming up, the pressure of the world of NHRA, not just Mike, by the way. Look at Billy Banica. Look at Derek Menhold. Like these guys, they get to the show. And I don't want to say anything that implies lesser than. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying NHRA, the biggest spotlight, the longest track, the fastest cars, the biggest names. Frank Manzo is there. Right? Steve Petty, like all of these guys, Stevie Fast, all of these guys are there and they want to prove themselves at this level. And there can only be one championship this year. And you've got a whole bunch of people that are deserving. And they're all going to be talking about what might have been, except for one person. And we just don't know who it's going to be. I'm pretty confident, though, the person who wins the race is going to be the champ. I'm pretty confident. Jordan Lazick did it last year. Jordan Lazick, we did it on Monday. I was going back. I was looking at some of the results, and it was like a bad memory. Like, oh, yeah, we had that gear oil on the track, and we lost the track, and we had to come back on Monday. And I was down there. It was in the wind. It was horrible. And I figured out that I have a weakness. I figured it out as a personal weakness that I have. All right. So I'm getting some news that we might, I always like to hedge my bets. We might find out what the TBD race is this weekend. We might. So that's interesting. All right. Put your comments in the comment section, guys. I'm going to go through the comments and see what you have to say and address everything. We're kind of done a little bit early. I'm so happy we got Mike in, though. His internet access was a little challenged. He's out there at Wild Horse Motorsports Park, I assume. He said Arizona, so I assume it's there, but I don't know for certain. But they're testing before the race, and they're getting ready for Vegas, and it is going to be fun and exciting. The big Friday night show this Friday, Halloween. Part of me wants to have a costume, and part of me is like, nah, I'm not into that. I don't know. Halloween, I think it's good for the ladies. I endorse Halloween costumes for all the ladies. For myself, not so much. WFO gear available in our store. It goes on sale from time to time. The Miami Hollywood Speedway shirts and WFO mugs. Guys, holidays are coming. Holidays are coming. So get in on the WFO radio gear. And if you want like a big gift, Frank Hawley's Drag Racing School, the Dragster Adventure, send your best clients. You give them a bottle of liquor or something. Nobody wants that. It just goes on the shelf. Who even got me that? FrankHawley.com. This is the gift. Yeah, it's a little more. Costs more. How much do these people mean to you? You're giving them an experience of a lifetime. And this travels around the country. They can work it out on when to go on their own time. FrankHawley.com. Tell them you heard about it on WFO Radio. Something a little smaller, Marvin Rodax, coffeeandgrills.com. Joe, are you really talking about holiday gifts? Yes, I am. I'm a consumer as well. They're hitting me with everything. Whether it be the foldable LED light or whatever crazy gift they're trying to pitch me that's not nearly as good as Rodax Coffee, 817-924-6821. Call Marvin. Tell him you heard about it on WFO Radio. Get your coffee, ship it out. Send it to your friends. Get just 10 pounds of coffee shipped to your house and give it out to your friends, and they will love it. That's how you do it. Get 10 pounds of coffee. 817-924-6821. So it can be shipped in one flat rate box. There's always a method to the madness. We mentioned Bernie Speed Shop, BURNYZZ.com, Bernie's. Good to see, Josh expanding. 100,000 square feet in Ocala, Florida. What we like to say is I always try to think what the WFO universe has got. And I picture everybody has got a classic car, a project car, an exotic car that they've been thinking about doing something with. And it would be better to let Josh sell it as part of their inventory at Bernie's. Reach out to them, bernies.com. Check out their inventory online, BURNYZZ.com. They got a great team over there, certainly. Redline Synthetic Oil, FTI Performance. We went through a lot to change Project Pontiac between Orlando and Rockingham. Pulled the converter, sent it back to the guys at FTI, Greg and Grant and the team, told them what we would like, and they switched it up. And now our graph is like near perfect, and it's a little bit looser, so the car can be a little more consistent. And it's about the customer service. So when you're looking for a Power Glide transmission or something fast, like Pro Modified, top dragster, top sportsman, something reliable, as bulletproof as these things can get, FTI is who you want to call. And tell them you heard about it on WFO Radio. I was watching WFO the other day, and that guy says, of course, Total Seal piston rings, you should be following Hidden Horsepower, the podcast. Total Seal getting ready for PRI. We're going to be there. Who's going to be at PRI? Let me know. Get me on social if you're going to be at PRI. We got anybody that can, be an assistant to WFO Joe at PRI? Let me know. TotalSeal.com. Give him a call. Keith Jones. Tell him you heard about it on WFO Radio. And then there's Jesse Converters. The DPF XFit brand is for over-the-road trucks, particulate filters, just a direct, exact OE replacement. All the clamps and clips are all in exactly the same location. But I found myself needing to investigate the G Sport brand. Yes, the G Sport brand of Jesse. Here's what happened. I got a code on my Cadillac LS2, 2006 Cadillac CTSV LS2 with a Tremec 6-speed. And it's giving me a code. And so I figured out the code. The code says my catalytic converters are not functioning the way they need to be functioning. And so what does that mean? So it turns out you can't get catalytic converters for this particular model. You got to figure out something else. And so it was like, you can maybe get one off of a Corvette with an LS2. They make them for the Vet, of course, and have somebody do something. And then I immediately thought of Jesse. High performance. A lot of people say, get the cats off of there, long tube headers. I don't want my car to be loud. For those of you that are wondering, I don't want my street car to be loud. Quiet. And that's what they're there for. So go to Jesse, of course, $2,000 for the number one qualifier in Pro Stock each race. But the DPF XFit brand, remember, Matt Latino is battling for Rookie of the Year. There's a great story on Competition Plus about Matt Latino and on NHRA. Like Spencer Hyde is the conventional logic. But you got Braden Davis and you got Matt Latino. And what if one of those guys punched it in the winner's circle? What if they both punch it in the winner's circle? What if Spencer Hyde punches it in the winner's circle? I got my ballot, but I'm not filling it out until the very last possible second. I'm going to give everybody the opportunity to perform at a very high level. So we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. Also want to shout out to the folks at SoCal Hot Sauce. Use the promo code WFO, SoCalHotSauce.com/WFO. Get a discount on these amazing hot sauces. And don't forget the guys at Life's a Drag. 12 noon Eastern time tomorrow. I'll be in Vegas. I'll be on my way to Vegas. All right, let's see what you guys got to say. Let's do final comments. Let's see what everyone has to say. There were a couple. Need to get your Florida boy Cletus on. He will blow up your channel. Charlie, I would love to have Cletus on. Yesterday, I spent 30 minutes watching Cletus, who I have never met, but I admire his what he's done with the tracks. I admire that. Like, we're going to buy it. We're going to save it. I would love to have Cletus on the show if that was possible. What they've done with Bradenton Motorsports Park. First of all, Victor, they saved this track, guys. Hopefully everyone has a different attitude about drag strips and race tracks. from 10 years ago, even just 10 years ago. Think about it, 2015. I was just at Rockingham. New owners at Rockingham, they've got a round track. If they were going to build that round track now from scratch, what is it? Hundreds of millions of dollars? Hundreds of millions of dollars to build a round track? That's not happening again. It's probably not happening ever again. Building big new facilities. We have to save the facilities. And the drag strip at Rockingham, they've saved it. They're investing it. They're improving it. Bradenton Motorsports Park, one of the historic South Florida tracks, aka DeSoto, for those of you back in the day. Art Malone, Don Garlitz. Malone tells Garlitz to pull the dragster off the museum floor. They go to the U.S. Nationals. They win it. That's history. That's DeSoto. Troy Williams Jr., Gary Williams, their parents managed the track back during all that early Winter Series stuff. Now Victor owns it. He spent money on it. He's resurrecting it. Drag Illustrated, the Winter Series, investing in it, making Florida like a center point. And they invested a lot of money. So yesterday, and you can watch this on NHRA.com, all the improvements, like Cletus walks you around and says, this is what we did. Those poles, I'm watching the entrance road. And in the end, like they ended up spending, what was it? Like, I think it was like $400,000 on the entrance road with the light poles and the asphalt and the booth and all of the stuff that went into just making a nice, smooth ingress and egress for racers and fans. Crazy how much things cost now, but they did it. And so what can we all do? Man, you got to go to the track, guys. You got to go to the track. I'm going to go. I just drove 12 hours to go to Rockingham. I'm going. I'm doing my part, but I need everybody to do it too. We got to support these racetracks. And as far as Bradenton Motorsports goes, how about an NHRA divisional race? That would be really nice. In addition to Orlando, I don't want to swap a close race for a close race. I want two close races. We have like 4 million people in South Florida, guys. We need more Southeastern Division stuff happening south of Gainesville. It would be really nice to have an NHRA divisional at Bradenton Motorsports Park. Now, I've heard that they're not into doing it, that they've got so much good stuff going on already. But man, if my plea could be heard, that would be so great for the South Florida drag racing community. Not everybody can, tow 12 to 14 hours. Got to balance the division a little bit better. So yeah, I would love to have him on the channel. If you know him, please tell him that I'm a good guy and that I will treat him fair. Mike Janis' car that he drove to the Pro Mod Championship. Okay. All the best to Justin Ashley. Richard Glenn says WFO's a family show. Claudia's Tommy D's auntie. What's up, Claudia? That's great. Nighthawk Motorsports says Justin Ashley is plus 3,700 to win the championship. Like them odds. Feel free. The friends at William Hill and Caesars will have odds in their sports books at the casinos this weekend, from what I'm told. That's what I'm told. Coming from a diehard Cubs fan, if you don't get them this year, there's always next year. Yeah. And Yankee fan too. How about that game last night? 18 innings, guys. 18 innings. That's too long. We did Ignition. The Ignition podcast was great. A lot of fun. Very entertaining. I went to sleep. I woke up. I felt rested. I started swiping on my phone. Who won the game? It's still on. Like 2:50 a.m. And I put it on. That's amazing. That is amazing. We'll see. WFO, Lorenzo says, sorry to see Mike go, but Jason will fit in perfectly. So Mike Green is a wonderful person. Started out at Darrell Gwynn. I don't know. I think that whole chemistry thing, sometimes you can advance the ball like a relay race only so much. I think about Gunther Steiner at Haas F1. He started the team. He got the team to a point, and then there needed to be change. And Haas F1 had their best race of ever this past weekend. Like sometimes new approach, new ideas, different ideas can take things farther. We're just going to see. We're going to see it all work out. And Mike is going to go and build the elite program with Tony Stewart. The best thing is we're going to have these results to watch. Now, it's not true for New York Yankees baseball. You must have the same manager and general manager forever. That's the only thing that will work. Mike and Jason get their schooling from the old school. Is there a new school of crew chiefing? I don't think so. I think it's all old school. I think all of that stuff is old school. Speaking of Arizona, how is our old buddy Alan Reinhart? Alan Reinhart is on my short list for I need to make a phone call. Alan Reinhart did what I would love to do, was go down to Australia, and he called drag racing in Australia, and he experienced the upside down. And I've got to get a debrief from Alan, like when that opportunity, but he's been very busy and I've been very busy, but he called the Dutch Classic at Maple Grove, the House of Chaos, this past weekend. And I understand that, the Vegas Pomona, the second Vegas divisional race, that Alan will be there for Jeff Foster. So Alan, although I haven't talked to him very recently, the last time I talked to him was face-to-face in Epping. He's doing good. Appreciated the online participation, future chat-tastic. Well, there's a lot going on here. There's the live chat, and then there's the after on Facebook chat, or on YouTube, rather. We don't really even acknowledge Facebook. They don't help us at all. Their algorithm is terrible. Unless I'm doing it wrong, which is very possible. Sponsor Ocala, Florida, global viewing. So true. Are you going to SEMA? No. This year, I decided to get out of Dodge before SEMA. I just felt like I needed to do it. PRI 100%. I've got to be at PRI. I'm at PRI with Total Seal. All of my partners are at PRI. Everybody's at PRI. I have to go over and see Paul Lee at the FTI booth at PRI. Going to go see the folks at Jessel and everybody. Fuel Factory. Got to be there for PRI. SEMA, last year I was walking around. I was thinking to myself, do I have to be here? And the answer is no, I don't have to be here. Do I want to be here? Yeah, sure. This year, after I figured out the other day, I hadn't been home for a Saturday since August 23rd with Orlando and then the 4 in a row and the Stampede of Speed and then going to Rockingham. I got a lot of projects stacking up here at the old homestead /shop/business center. So I will be coming home from Vegas on Monday afternoon. Did you get the starter change in the race hauler truck, Joe? Thank you, Henry. Yes, I did. The starter has been replaced. 24 years that starter started the truck. And I was thinking about what a near disaster that would have been had I been stuck at a gas station in Rockingham, missed first round of racing, then had to get either towed or go buy a starter or fix it on my back in the parking lot. Like, man, I didn't want any of those options. And that thing, like, I love that truck. I pulled into my own house. It started one last time. I put the car away and then fixed the starter on Sunday afternoon. I did it on my back, injured myself. Yeah, I guess as you get older, rolling around on the ground on hard concrete can injure you. I didn't know. Now I know. Don't do that ever again. Let's see. Met him at the Pro. He's a pretty cool guy. Talking about Cletus. Ralph is like doing one-word text. All right, we're getting close. Getting close to the end. Thank you, Cletus. Central Florida loves you, brother, says Ralph. Okay, and Wes, why did Vegas go to one race next year? And what track would you like to see as the TBD? Oh, look at Wesley getting me with like a real question right at the very end. I will answer your question, Wesley. Before I do that, guys, WFO Radio is having a good couple of weeks. I appreciate our audience. Maybe the algorithm will show the show to new eyes, fresh eyes. We ask you to subscribe, click the bell. We've literally grown this thing from one person. And as you have seen, our archive is loaded with what I deem to be like real information. We're trying to grow the sport of drag racing. I haven't really commented a whole lot on the Fox broadcast, the record broadcast after the Stampede of Speed. There's always going to be naysayers, but we need not give that oxygen. What a great job. I couldn't comment immediately because I hadn't watched the show. And yes, ratings were great, but I was doing our version of the show on NHRA.TV, so I didn't fully see what Brian and Tony and Amanda and Jordan and Bruno had put together. So once I got back from Rockingham, I was able to watch. And I think it's the finest work that they've done. I think it's the best show that they ever produced. Like those people that I just named, they felt the significance of the moment and rose to the occasion on the TV broadcast. And what does it mean when 2 million people tune in to see your sport and stick around? Because they could have left. They stuck around. 3 million at the highest point, maybe getting ready for the next NFL game. It means that you've got a sport that is watchable by a mainstream audience. Formula One, we talk about this on the Ignition Show. They just signed a deal with Apple TV. Like 5 years, $750 million a year. Formula One in the United States. Their ratings are available. You can go look at their ratings. What did Formula One do on ESPN here in the United States of America? And Apple paid $750 million for 5 years. So NHRA does not have the ratings that Formula One has, but they're close. They got 80% of the ratings. They're close. So I don't know if you can extrapolate like what will happen. The point is, this sport has value, and this sport is going places. And we love it for a reason, because it's good. You'll have someone, behind an NFL game, tiddlywinks will get good ratings. Well, that's not necessarily true, because there's other examples. There's always someone. We post this great Attention in the Pits today. Attention in the Pits. David Bears, a Hearst Olds, an original, one of 512 Hearst Oldsmobiles. We did this beautiful feature on it. And it's on Twitter, and I would love for you to go watch it and share it. It's got a Jason line engine. The guy's a cool guy. We became friends when I was up there in Brainerd. BOP, Buicles, Pontiac. We guys are kind of, kindred spirit, if you will. Somebody on Twitter comments, it doesn't matter. It's all Chevrolets anyway. No, clearly not. It's not all Chevrolets. Here we are. We're showing you an Oldsmobile and you rejecting it. Like, those people are going to be out there. I would like to say to all the people within the drag racing community, now is the time to unite for a greater good, to put petty nonsense aside and support the sport of drag racing with NHRA as the top of the pyramid pinnacle, the one that's got the best chance to capture mainstream eyes, and everything else will rising tide lifts all ships. Everything else will grow. PDRA will grow. Everything will grow. As far as the TBD race, well, I was really confident that it was going to be Rockingham. And now that Tommy and Judy Franklin are back in play, I like Richmond as well. So forced to choose between the two of those, it's very difficult. And I don't want to tip the scale either way, because Tommy and Judy Franklin are very nice people, and I like them greatly. And I love going to Richmond, and it's easy because it's on the East Coast. That having been said, I'd really like to see what happened at Rockingham, because I think that would be just a blowout, crazy event. The classic nature. I was just there. I just was there. They got some work to do. But if they could do it, and I had to make the call, because you asked, Wes, I would choose Rockingham. And maybe they rotate. Like, this isn't the end of the world. This is like maybe they rotate every other year or something like that. So there you go. Look, you got a definitive answer out of me somehow. Congratulations. Monica says, great show. Don't like rolling on the ground. Yeah. When I was a kid, I could just roll on the ground and not be injured. Apparently, as an adult, it doesn't work that way. My apologies for answering one-word text. Appreciate. Yes. So the real question is where we're going to eat in Vegas. That is the big question. There's a lot of choices. I'm very excited. I'm going to go get my favorite cocktail in the world. I'm going to do all the fun things. Maybe get some new Formula One gear since it's all like really cheap in these hotels as they're trying to bring people in. They hate it there. They hate it. Like the Vegas ad campaign for NHRA should be NHRA drag racing. We don't close down the streets. Come see NHRA Mission Foods Drag Racing, the penultimate race on the tour. We do not annoy and hassle you. Racing as it should be at a racetrack with a parking lot. These are just ideas. These are just ideas that I'm having right now. Appreciate everybody, Mike Stavrinos, for making the time. Good luck to all the Pro Modified contenders. It's going to be wild. Friday night, I now know who the special guest is. I cannot share. It's going to be fun. Oh, my goodness. It's going to be maybe too much fun. And assuming everything that I heard is true, could be a tough task for me to live up to the moment. Oh, my goodness. We'll see. We'll see. See how it all works out. Talk to food guys, Elon and Jason. Well, Piero's is definite, even though they're under new management. I would continue to go back to Peter Luger's. Like every time, I would go back to Peter Luger's. These guys, they don't like to go to the same place twice in a row. I get it. That's what lies ahead in Vegas, guys. See you there. WFO.